Hello everybody, I just wanted to share a couple of things today that I hope can be helpful. The first thing, a little self-promotion here to start with. If you've not had a chance to check out my new book yet, I hope you will. We have gotten some really good feedback on this book. It's titled Your Best Path Forward, a practical guide to navigating senior living options and planning. Really what I try to do with this book is answer many of the different types of questions that we've gotten over the years regarding, senior living, moving to a retirement community, what to think about, plan for, and all of those kind of things. So if you would like to get a copy, you can do that through our website at myLifeSite.net or directly to Amazon or really any online book retailer. Okay, now that I've gotten that out of the way, I want to talk to you a little bit about a will today. So this doesn't tie in directly to senior living, but it is very closely related. And so we're going through a situation with a family member right now. So this is front of mind for me. And really, when you have, if somebody passes away, one of the questions you always hear is, did they have a will? But here's the thing, a will only applies to assets that go through the probate process, meaning that you have to open the estate and value all of those assets and everything, inventory those assets, and then it can take a while to go through that estate settlement process. There are a lot of ways that you can bypass that estate process altogether. In fact, in many cases, you can make it so that almost every asset, almost all of your assets bypass that process. So in that case, a will, yeah, it's still important. I don't want to say you don't need one, but it may not apply to many assets if you plan properly otherwise. So first, let me say I am not an attorney. This is not legal advice. Please talk with your own attorney for your own planning. But, there are so many different ways, again, that you can bypass that process. So, for example, bank accounts, okay? Investment accounts, for example. You can name transfer on death, or sometimes called payable on death, which is essentially a beneficiary. So if you have a brokerage account, investment account, or even just a bank account, cash savings accounts, whatever, you can name transfer on death, which means it would go directly to that person and it does not have to go through probate. If you don't have that, then it was likely that it will go through that probate process. And a will can be contested, by the way. So it's not set in stone and it's public record, so you don't have the privacy. Whereas if you name a TOD or POD, it'll go directly to that person. Same is true with beneficiary designations. So retirement accounts, obviously life insurance policies, annuities, IRAs, you can name beneficiaries. I think you all know this, but that again would go directly to that person and it bypasses that probate process altogether. If you have a living trust, not everybody needs one of these, but assets owned in a living trust also bypass probate and go directly to those named in the trust. One other thing I'll mention, you can also bypass probate with joint accounts. So if you own an account jointly with rights of survivorship, and something happens to one of those two people, it will automatically go to that surviving spouse or partner that's named on that account. So, if you make sure, if you have a lot of your assets are in these types of accounts and you have those designations or those joint accounts set up, then a lot of the will may not apply to much of what you own. Maybe your house, automobiles, collectibles, household items, things like that. But even then, again, with a living trust, sometimes you may have ways to include those there where they bypass probate as well. So just some things to think about. Again, talk with your own attorney. There is one other thing I'll mention. If you have an account owned jointly, like I just described, and you have a transfer on death or payable on death designation on that account, ask the banker how that works because one may supersede the other. You may want it to pass to the surviving owner, but instead that payable on death leapfrogs that. So you just want to make sure to have those kind of things in order. I've seen a situation before where that didn't work out. So anyway, thank you for taking a few minutes to watch the video. I hope you found this helpful. Look forward to talking to you soon.